I had forgotten they were making a Minecraft movie. Seriously, did I just miss the announcement or something? This one just completely slipped under the radar for me, and I'll be honest, it wasn't something I was particularly excited or hyped for. Of all the video games I think would make a great adaptation, I just don't think this one was particularly high on my list. Don't get me wrong, in my youth I loved playing Minecraft, that golden age of childhood. Is it still as popular as it was back in the day? Probably, honestly. It feels like a game that never fades. But it does have a less overt storyline, really. It's less built in with no real key story beats to follow. And so in the end, it's going to rely pretty much completely on screenwriters to create the story. And I just don't have faith in the screenwriters that would be attached to a project such as this. So already, as soon as I saw the thumbnail and the title on YouTube, my hackles were up and I was filled with dread, just straight away. I don't know why, I guess I just had a feeling it was going to be rather bad. Video game films are already often hit or miss, and whilst we have had a lot of recent success stories such as the Sonic franchise or the Super Mario Bros, this concept just seems so much more out there compared to those classic characters with a built-in story that you can rather easily follow. It does have some narrative elements and progression within the game, but I don't think that'd make a good film or really a cohesive narrative through line at all. So yeah, I'm not all that hyped by this announcement whatsoever. It just feels like trying to capitalize on a big name game without putting the thought into whether it would actually be any good at all. And then I watched the trailer, but beforehand I always like to read the little blurb that gives you a sort of summary of the film and the story that's going to unfold. It even usually tells you more than the actual trailer does, which I've always found helpful. Sometimes trailers these days don't even bother to give you an idea of the story or the plot at all, and are just about vibes, which, nah. And so I read through that blurb, and just for a few moments, I was filled with joy and bliss. It very briefly set my mind at ease. It reads, 4 misfits, Garrett, the garbage man Garrison, Henry, Natalie, and Dawn find themselves struggling with ordinary problems when they're suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into the overworld, a bizarre, cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they have to master this world and protect it from evil things like piglins and zombies too, whilst embarking on a magical quest with an unexpected expert crafter, Steve. Together, their adventure will challenge all 5 to be bold and to reconnect with the qualities that makes them all uniquely creative, the very skills they need to thrive back in the real world. And so from that blurb, I kind of got Jumanji vibes. A bunch of misfits who get sucked into the digital world, and within they have to learn to work together. And along the way, they face a bunch of different trials and tribulations, and in the end have to find what makes them truly special. And thus, by mastering the game and their abilities within it, they're able to go up against the villain, if there is one, and escape, which I honestly don't mind the sound of. Not too shabby at all. I really liked the Jumanji movies. The first one was an absolute banger, or rather, the first of the reboot franchise, although I do love the OG Robin Williams version too, but it's not really the same context that we're dealing with here. And I really like the second one as well, with the granddads and everything, and so if it's like that, an animated Jumanji, hell yeah, I'm all about it. And so it was at this point that I started the video. So the trailer starts off decently cliche, an old song with some distortion, the Beatles this time. I really am curious, who started this trend? Which film did it first for their trailers? Like, I get that you could probably go back and find examples from decades ago, but I mean, what about this more modern popularization of doing this? Either way, I do feel like we're seeing it appear in films that do not need or deserve to use these songs. Like, tonally, how does this fit in with the vibe of Minecraft or the story they're telling with the trailer? It just doesn't. Oh well. But let's continue on. When I first saw the visuals, I was cautiously optimistic. Like this big wide shot of the landscape? Yes! Obviously, you're not going to be able to replicate the actual Minecraft animation graphics style one-to-one. I just don't think it would have widespread appeal, and I guarantee that people who had never heard of Minecraft or played the game would have considered the graphics janky. So I figured we'd be having a Super Mario Bros. Level of animation. Not the exact same style, but simply where it looks good, but also maintains the integrity of the game it's an adaptation of. And I thought this wide shot was gorgeous and also kind of reminded me of a Wes Anderson type of shot. And yeah, I thought, oh shit, they're cooking with this. And then we hit the very next scene, which still looked just as cool, except I thought, ooh, those animated people look a bit photorealistic. It hadn't sunk in for me at that stage. I was still in denial. Until we cut to the close-up of the leads, and my god, I haven't had an emotional whiplash like that from a trailer in many years, I'd say. My god! Seriously, a live-action fusion film? A fusion film? No, legitimately no. Who greenlit this shit? I just don't get it. The humans completely clash with the world, and not in a fun way. It's not in a Free Guy type of way. No, this looks like shit. Dog shit. Looks stupid. I hate it. And then we get our first look at something other than a tree or a landscape, and it's a sheep, and oh no. I hate it. Why? This is giving off original Sonic vibes. I will admit, I really like the backgrounds and the environments. And I even like the piglin and the ghasts. But it's not going to be enough, I can feel it. Because whilst I like the look of those, monsters in the next shot where they're all flying by, then the goodwill just fades away again because I remember that there's live action characters who don't fit in with the world. And maybe it's just my disdain and bitterness leaking into my thoughts of it all, but the more I look, the more I start to think that maybe I was wrong. Maybe the animation style isn't even all that good to begin with. Like when I thought Minecraft movie, these were not the visuals that came to mind. This wasn't just not what I was expecting. And it's just, yikes. This reeks of Hollywood. Do you reckon they've even ever played the game? The humans do not match the backgrounds, but also I think the other animated Minecraft characters don't really match the environments like I thought they would either. And so everything's feeling like a huge stylistic clash to me. And also I can't get behind Jason Momoa's hair in this. It feels distracting in a bad way. I just lose all focus on all the scenes and I'm staring at that wig. At least I hope it's a wig. And then we get Jack Black playing playing Steve, which, honestly good. Dude has charisma for days. A lot of nostalgia for Jack Black. He can deliver some of the goofiest lines in a way that makes them massively entertaining. And I see his presence in the film as an absolute win. Also, the kid who approaches him and asks who he is. Yeah, I did not think much of that acting. Yeah. Fresh child actor, be nice and all that. But I'm not sending the kid hate mail. I'm just saying he felt massively wooden in his delivery. Who are you? And that bodes ill for me, because this kid seems front and center in most of the group shots. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that he's the overall lead character of the story. And for the trailer, you want to show your best takes possible to hype up the audience. And so this suggests that this is the best he does. Woohoo! This does not bode well. Also, just some of the writing. It's just typical crap. This guy's such a tool bag. A tool bag? It's like saying shivers instead of shit. It's fine when it's a child or Ned Flanders, but for actual dialogue, just either make it sound better or just don't have them say things like that. Then we finish off looking at a llama, or maybe an alpaca, I don't know, I don't care. Either way, it looks weird, looks out of place, and then the pig dudes run past it like they're the minions. And then the trailer ends and promises, or threatens, a release date of April 4th next year. My God. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this movie's going to suck. I really wouldn't be all too shocked if it's a box office massacre too. Like, we've seen a lot of video games turned into movies over the years, and recently Mario made bank. But unless the next trailer shows off just how good this film is going to be, I just don't see how there's any hope of this movie being well received. It looks so bad. And on top of that, good chance of it doing badly at the box office. We've seen a lot of bombs recently. When films don't look like they're worth the money, people don't go anymore. Even films that people were sure and certain that were going to be big box office hits, and yet here we are. I have no hope. On top of that, going through the director's filmography, I'm not impressed. Napoleon Dynamite, yeah, okay, but that was like 20 years ago. And the rest? No, not really. Dude ain't cooking. I do not understand why they went with live action. It doesn't make any sense. Would it have cost much more to have animated people? I guess it would. Just 5 extra people? How can they be so out of touch on this? It is well and truly getting ripped apart online, and deservedly so. I mean, they left the comments open. Very brave. I wonder if they thought it was going to go better than that. Usually they preemptively close the comments when they know that people are going to hate on it. But yeah, it looks bad, it's going to be terrible. But there are also some massively unanswered questions as of the release of this trailer. No idea why I'm continuing to speculate over this steaming turd of a trailer, but here we are. I'm a glutton for punishment and I'm a fool. But yeah, one of the big questions comes in the form of, how the hell did they even get to this place? Is there some sort of villain? For the first, I'd expect that since they're all described as misfits, they're going to have their misfit moment in the real world, and then a portal's going to appear, they're going to get sucked in, or maybe just walk in. As for how, I don't know. Isn't the limit of the world your imagination, or whatever they say? I think that's what they say in the trailer. So, I don't know, maybe Steve made something to summon people to him. Either A, to help him out because he's facing off with some villain all alone, or B, he wants to escape the overworld too, because he's ended up there and he's trapped. Somehow. Doesn't really matter how. Maybe he can build a portal to summon people to him, but he needs help to escape. Maybe he's the villain. Maybe he's a twist villain or something like that. I don't know. This movie needs something decent to try to salvage it, but I don't know how. I'm not a professional screenwriter. It looks bad, laughably bad, and by the end, I don't think anybody's going to find this funny. Just sad. Another franchise lost to Hollywood greed and stupidity. Oh, no, I know better. And so with all that being said, there's really not much else to say, and so I'll remind you that these have all been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the trailer? Did you like it? Hate it? Are you excited for the film? Hyped in any way possible? If so, tell me why. I'd like to know. Maybe it'll change my view. But yeah, I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.